Ride it. Hey folks, this is JCE Biker with you, and I just wanted to let you know I'm getting ready to do some more videos coming up soon, and I also wanted to give you a quick tour of my bike again, and just kind of show you some of the things I've done to it, and especially a recent upgrade that I've done to it that I think you might find really interesting. And it's basically doubled my range, and has to do with batteries. So let me start by showing you my bike. This is a Specialized hard rock sport disc, and it is, I got it back in around 2014, so it's, you know, got a few years on it. And I've put a past three, I guess it's been about 3 years ago, I put a Bafang BBS HD mid-drive motor on it. I ordered it from Luna Cycles online, so as you can see, it's got the Luna sticker on it. Highly recommend them, they're a good company. And also added a Jones handlebar. They have different styles of handlebars on there. They're all high quality handlebars, and I really like this one. This is the one that's got a little up sweep to it, I think that's what they call it. Now also I ordered these are just bar extenders, or they actually go on the ends of the bars. And what I did was I figured out a way to put them on these bars to kind of give me a little bit of a different feel. So if I get tired of using the regular handle grips and I want to move my body a little bit, move forward maybe to I don't know, just to get in a different position for a while. If I start riding too long and feeling uncomfortable setting up, then I can kind of lean down a little, maybe give me a little less wind resistance and more speed. So these handle grips work great for that. And plus with these bars I got a lot of room to put stuff on. Like I have my camera mount down here for my GoPro. I use a GoPro Hero 7, and it gives me the angle that I like to use on my rides. Shows the top of the tire, or the top of the fender there on the front. So that's basically it. I like these mirrors, of course. They come in pretty handy. Now and of course this it's a Yabeki seat. It's really comfortable too. Got it on Amazon. I think it's about 30 bucks, 40 bucks maybe. So when I first got put on the Bafang motor from Luna Cycle, I also ordered a cheap, I guess they call it a tube battery. It's a Shark battery. And they're nice batteries, but they're real expensive. I guess it's because of the case that put them in, where you can you mount the plate and then you slide on the battery and it locks into place, so you don't have to worry about theft, somebody just taking it off your bike. However, one thing I've noticed, that the big block, like rectangular, usually they come in like a blue wrap around them, batteries are cheaper and just as powerful, if not more powerful, than the handlebar or the bar tube style or Shark batteries. So what I did was I ordered these Ibera bag, and I have a Ibera rack on the back. You can't see it very well now, but there's the bag. Move around here. And it works good because it just slides right onto the rack. So it's real easy. You just press this button down here and it allows the bag to slide right off. So what I did at first was I ordered one of those big rectangular batteries because, as you all know, lithium batteries degrade over time. And I've had this Shark battery for about 3 years. It's a 52 volt, 14 amp hour. So I wanted to get something bigger that'd give me more range. So I found those blue rectangular batteries on Amazon, and they're a little bit cheaper than about $100 cheaper actually than the Shark batteries with the equivalent power and range. And I was trying to figure out how I could mount those onto my bike, or how I could get those to where I could use those to give me more range, more power, be cheaper, etc. So what I did was I realized that it would fit in this Ibera bag. So that's what I used for a long time. Is I ordered one of those and I put it inside and made sure there was plenty of cushioning around it. It's kind of heavy though, and that was part of the problem. Is on top of the rack in the bag, the battery's so heavy that it kind of made everything real wobbly on the back. Plus, I got to the point where I wanted even more range. So I wanted to get a third battery, technically, or a second rectangular battery. And I tried to think, okay, how can I do that without making it way too heavy on the top? So I came up with this idea, and that is these 50 caliber plastic ammo boxes. I got these from Harbor Freight, and I got 2 of them. They're about $10 a piece. And the nice thing about them is that you can paint them whatever color they are. They came in gray with a black handle, and I just painted them all black to match my bike. I'm probably going to put some red stripes on to make them look even better eventually. The nice thing about them is they've even got holes here on each side that you can lock them with a little padlock. And I'll show you the lock I use. So what I did to mount these is I drilled 4 holes on one side of each one of the boxes, and as you can see, I have mounted them by using these I'll show you. It's see, I got them in it's like a clamp for a pipe or a small piece of metal, round metal. It's a clamp piece. It's got metal with rubber on the inside so it won't scratch up whatever you're mounting it to. This particular one that I used was a 3/8 inch. Now you can get these in one size, in the same bag or whatever at most hardware stores like Menards or Lowe's. You can also order them online, which is what I did in this assortment kit. There's an assortment of different sizes. Of course, all I used was a 3/8 for this project. So that's what I used, and I'll show you here. I drilled holes in 4 different spots, and I used those to go around the bike rack, the Ibera bike rack on the side. They're spread out and made for pannier bags, so worked out pretty good. And then I used, I believe it's 5/8 inch bolts to go through those and into the box. And actually what I did was I ended up ordering a special set of those bolts that came with these big thumb, like these big thumb things here. Or basically it allows me to remove the boxes without any tools. However, they do take up some room, so you got to keep that in mind. But also I have an extra inner tube in here. That's the nice thing about this is you can carry extra stuff in here too. And what I did here, just to keep the battery in place, here's the battery, and I just used like a cheap tool drawer bottom. It's just kind of a rubbery material, and it's real cheap. and I just wrapped the battery in it to protect the battery and give it some cushioning around it. Plus it kind of helps stay in place a little better. And then I just took a big piece of styrofoam and wrapped it in duct tape, cut it to size, and then I shoved it in there so it kind of keeps the battery up against the edge here. And of course, with the battery, you've got your charging cable there, and down here is it's an Anderson connection. And I also drilled a hole at the bottom down there. I don't know if you can see it or not. Might need to get a flashlight to show you that. There we go. So there's a hole down there, and what I did is I ran the wire through that hole that I made, and then after I was done, I hot glued it so it would close up the hole and keep water or dust, dirt from entering inside the box. So with that and using these bolts in the holes on the sides, it's waterproof. So I don't have to worry about like I can wash the bike with like a shower setting. I wouldn't want to use like a power washer or a jet setting on your hose, but if you just use a gentle shower setting when you're washing, which is really all you need, should be fine. I don't think any water would get in. Anyway, as you can see, there's the connection to the battery, and then here's one of the padlocks that I use. It's just a little master lock, but it works good for putting through the holes when the lid's closed. Just put it through there and lock it, and then gives a little protection from somebody just taking your battery. So that worked pretty good, because not only does it allow me to have 2 of those batteries, which really increased my range and power, well, mainly range, it also brought down the center of gravity, which basically what I mean is the batteries are so heavy that it brought them down a little bit closer to the ground, and that allows for it to not be so make the bike seem so tipsy at the top, so it rides a little better. Now you don't have to have these special knobs here. That's just because I wanted to make it to where I could remove the boxes without a tool. If you really want to, all you'd have to use is just some, if you want to use some tools, just use a regular 5/8 inch bolt, maybe about 1.5 inches to 2 inches long, and just use regular like nuts and washers. You could also, if you're using regular nuts, I'd use one of those nuts that has a vinyl in them, or whatever that is in them that keeps them from coming loose, or at least use some Loctite. That would work fine too. Plus that'd give you a little more room probably, because you wouldn't have these big knobs here taking up space. But it works pretty well. I've already rode the bike several times, and everything seems to be working just fine. Now another thing I want to point out too is, in order to use this setup, what I needed was a battery balancing part, or basically it's a big computer chip, and it's got two inner wires and 1 outer wire, and I have it wrapped up in I have it in this little bag, and I have it wrapped up so it doesn't get wet. But if you can see inside the bag there, if you can see inside the bag there, it's got 2 wires coming out and 3 wires coming out. 2 of those gets connected to each one of the batteries, and then the other wire goes down to my motor. And what this does is it helps to automatically balances the batteries and keeps them from anything going bad on them. It keeps them from, if you connect batteries the wrong way, it could damage them or cause some problems. So with this, it automatically solves that problem. So I shouldn't have any problems when I connect the batteries together. and it basically balances both. So I charge each one separately, like you would normally. But and I can keep this plugged into them while I'm charging. That's the nice thing about it. I just to charge them, I just open the lid up and plug them in to the chargers that came with them. And you can do that. You don't have to disconnect the batteries from this balancer. And then what the balancer does is it just keeps everything in check, make sure that when you're discharging the batteries, that they discharge evenly. And it basically makes them into one big battery instead of two separate ones. And they work great. And then I still have my old battery as a backup in case I go on a long ride and run out of juice. Then I can always use my backup battery to get me home or get me somewhere where I can either call somebody to pick me up or whatever. But hopefully that won't ever be a problem. So that's pretty much my setup there as far as the batteries go. But this is my ride. It works good, and if I ever need to, I can always take those batteries out of the boxes too. It's not hard to do. They're just kind of stuck in there. You know, I just take that middle piece out, and they come right out. And I disconnect them from the cable, and they're out. So easy to take out, easy to put in, and waterproof because of the box. I can lock them. They're connected to the bike, so nobody can just take them off the bike easily. And I try to get them as even with the top of the rack as I could. I'll show you what it looks like with the rack off. Take the bag off here. So yeah, this bag just slides right off. You press that button. That's what it looks like with the bag off. So now I can use my bag just for storage again instead of putting a battery in it. Now, you know, with the batteries, of course, it is kind of heavy in the back, but if you got a good bike, that's okay. This bike seems to be holding up just fine with it. Plus, I'm a big guy, so when I ride, you know, it seems to be working just fine. So this is my ride. Another thing I could mention was I got this mount from had a different cheap plastic cage on it, bottle cage from Walmart. It's got Velcro wraps on it. So I put this around, and you know, of course, the Velcro wraps wasn't keeping it still. It kept moving around, especially if you had something heavy in there. So what I did was I added these metal bands. They're metal pipe clamps. See, there's the bolts, or the bolts that tighten and loosen them. So, and I painted them black, of course, so they blend in. So yeah, it worked out good. And I took the cheap bottle cage off. It's just connected by these usual bottle cage bolts. And I put this, it's a little bit better one, on. It's aftermarket one. And of course, I had this little strap just to keep my drinks from bouncing out, because it does get a lot of bounce down there being on the wheel or the shocks and everything. But it works. And then I also got another bottle cage I ordered online. So yeah, it works good too. So this is my ride. I also have a lock here that works really well. Just want to mention that. So this is what I wanted to show you. So if anybody has any questions, feel free to comment below and let me know what you think of this. If this is a good idea. So far it seems to have been a good idea. Like I said, I live close to the Katy Trail, so I have hundreds of miles of bicycle trail to my disposal. So That's why I wanted to have plenty of range, so I can, with this setup, it should give me about 80 to 100 miles of range. Of course, that's if I pedal too, which I usually do. I mean, that's kind of the point. It's I do have just throttle only, but when I pedal using pedal assist, it's just more fun and gives me a little exercise too. So, plus it lets the batteries last longer and further. So that's it.